Hello everybody, Sergeant Soldier, and welcome back to another How to Rust. And before we get started with today's topic, I'm going to announce right now that this will be the last How to Rust that is going to incorporate the word days in the title, because I have a new series that's going to be coming up next week that is also going to feature days. And the word days makes more sense with that series, and I don't want two series that has day 10, day 15, day 137. I don't want two of them. So we're going to change this one to episodes from this point forward. So if you missed the days, I'm sorry, but once the new series starts coming out, it'll make a lot more sense. So with that, we're going to dive into the new changes with Devblog 135. Starting off with number 1, the Steam inventory crafting. Now this is actually pretty cool, and it's something that a lot of people have been really asking for because they get a lot of duplicate skins. What do you do with them? Well, now you can actually break one piece of skin down, or I guess it would be one individual skin, it wouldn't be a piece of skin. An individual skin can be broken down into a piece of cloth, metal, or wood. So at that point what you do is, if I press escape, we go into the crafting system, and I already cleaned out all my skins, and I had to buy new ones, so I can get the magical number 100 cloth. That way I'm able to actually show you what you can craft with it. But I bought a bunch of skins, and that's why this video took so long to put out. I finally got all my skins, I bought all my cloth, and now that you have all this broken down, you can actually buy one of these bags. Now the high quality bag takes 100 cloth. That's why I went and I bought all the skins. And these are all the different things you can get with it. There's quite a lot. And I own quite a few of these too, so hopefully I don't get a duplicate. It wouldn't make very much sense for you to spend all this cloth to get this high quality bag and eventually get something that you already have. I'd be pretty upset about that. But if you don't want to do the high quality, you can always do the low quality, which you can technically get 4 of them. So with all the things that are in here, a lot of them look pretty basic. Green cap, blue cap, all the camo pants, the beanies, t-shirts, all that stuff. But I'm sure there are a few cool things in here, such as the Winter Deers hat, army boots, the 60s army jacket. There's a couple cool things in here. So what I'm going to do is we're going to go for broke. We're going to buy the high quality bag. So we're crafting it. All of our cloth is now gone. And wish us luck, ladies and gentlemen. We're going to open it up. Please give me something good. And takes a second. What did I get? Okay, there we go. I got the salvage shirt, coat, and tie. Okay, not too bad. Not too bad. So let's see if we can actually craft that. Oops, craft that in the game. That was the jacket, so I think I'm gonna need, where's resources? There we are. A little bit of cloth, and I think we need sewing kits. This one here. Oh, there it is, right there. Snow jacket red turns into this jacket. So while that's making up, we're gonna move on to the next thing, and that is going to be the new skins that they just put out. Now, I'm not gonna do the skins in this video. Those are gonna be in their own separate community video. I will get to that. I've seen the skins, and I'm really excited about what they added. It should be pretty cool, but we're going to save that for a future video. Next up, we have the new Hazmat Suit that they just put into the game, and here it is in my inventory. I'm wearing our old Hazmat Suit that is broken up into 5 pieces. The new Hazmat Suit, if I put this on, takes up all protective slots with one single item, but if you look at it, it actually looks pretty cool. Let me go in my debug camera here and fly around. Oop, wrong way. This is pretty much what it looks like. Obviously, you wouldn't be flying around like I am, but I really like it. I think they did a really good job putting it together, and I think it really fits to the character very well. It doesn't look all bunched up or flat in certain spots. All the way around, it looks really, really good. So what we're going to do is we're going to fly into that water tower there, and we're going to put on various different disguises. First off, we're going to do the old Hazmat Suit. And we're going to basically just take it off piece by piece. Alright, so put the pants on first. And the shirt. Okay, and the face mask. Okay, so really, a whole hazmat suit, as we saw before with our last break in Rust, isn't needed. Now, if we took away the gloves, now we're getting some rads, right? Put those gloves back on. All you need, period, are just, at the moment, before they fix it again, because they are going to work on radiation again, all you need are just 2 pieces of the original hazmat suit, and you're good to go with the rads. However, if you do end up getting lucky and you get the whole piece, wow, that spawned right on top of me, and you have the whole hazmat suit that just was put in the game, it's basically the same thing. The only difference between the hazmat suit that they just added was the fact that it gives you 70 rads and only 8 cold protection. Whereas with the old one, you get 50 rads, which is still plenty to protect you, by the way. But you get 40 cold protection. Now, I don't know about you guys, but in certain times, like such as nighttime, it's really important to have cold protection. So, unless they're planning on getting rid of the old hazmat suit, I don't understand the use of the new hazmat suit. Because as I said, you don't really need a full 50 or a full, 70? You don't need that much rad protection. If I just put on the regular stuff that I have here, like so, I have 27 protection, and my rads aren't going up, they're going down. But that's okay, because maybe this suit has some future plans, maybe they're going to make rad stronger, I don't know. But I'm just saying, oh, that's not the right suit, hold on. I'm just saying, this, hey, that's not what I wanted to do. Put it on. This is the suit that they just added. It looks really cool, but in my personal opinion, it's not really necessary right now. Next up, we have the flamethrower. Now, the flamethrower saw a few changes, and some of them are going to be pretty important. Number 1, a single click now burns fuel for half a second instead of a single poof of flame. So if I grab my flamethrower here, and we'll get to the rest of the stuff later, don't worry. A single click, which let me do it right here. One click. Remember before it used to go poof, poof, poof. One little tiny puffball? Yeah, now it does actually something significant. Next, must be held down to create fire, which means that just goes away. But if I hold it down, the fire actually places on the ground and it sticks there for now 30 seconds instead of 8 minutes. Next, double fuel burn rate. Now as you see, I'm pretty much empty. I went through this pretty quick. Now if I reload it, you'll also notice it goes up to 100 as well. That was doubled. But it goes through pretty quick, so be very careful when you're trying to use the flamethrower to raid with. Even though it still does the same damage to doors, you're going to go through so much more fuel that it may or may not actually be worth it. One last thing about this before we light this door on fire, it does a lot less damage to players. So for those of you that like to save your flamethrowers for your base when you're defending, and just shoot flames down your hallway, and hopefully that'll slow them down enough to the point where you can regroup. Now it's not going to be the case. It's going to shoot the flames down, they're going to laugh at you, it's going to tickle them, and they're going to come and shoot you eventually. So what we're going to do now is we're going to shoot the door here. Alright, let me use a little bit more. There we go, I used 20 fuel. And that did 184, and then still going down. It'll go for 30 seconds while it burns. Not too bad. Not too bad. 175. This will probably get to maybe 165 with 20 fuel, I would imagine. 170. Okay. So if we just let this thing go for a little bit longer. One more. Okay. Now it's 59. Alright, 159. And just hold that all the way down to the bottom. There we go. Ooh. There you go. So it still does the same damage to doors. For raiding, it is very, very useful. But with the fuel cost, yeah, it may or may not actually be worth it at this point. Next up, we have the food boxes. Now, according to FacePunch and according to the Devblog 135, they say people were starving and finding food was too random. Yes and no. I wouldn't say it was too random. All you had to do was run down the road, and there were trash piles everywhere. It was really easy to find beans and chocolate bars and stuff like that. So I really wouldn't say that. If you were in the middle of the woods, then yes, finding food was really difficult unless you were lucky enough to kill an animal. So what they ended up doing was they made a 15 to 20% chance of a junk pile spawning one of these food boxes. So if we open this up, you're going to see it's a chocolate bar. That's it. That's really all it is. It's basically the trash pile that we had before, now in little separate food boxes that you can actually tell what they are. You know as soon as you open one of those little boxes, it's going to be food every single time. Now the next change we have with this devblog is the radiation fixes. Now before, as you're running around through whatever you were in this case the dome, by the time you realized you already had rads because it was ticking very quietly or going very slowly, you already had 50 rads and that was it. All of a sudden you had to run out now because you were starting to lose health. So what they did was they made it a lot easier for you to tell that you're in a rad zone, that you're going to be taking damage here, and hopefully that'll come across as we run in here. Okay, so that started ticking a lot sooner. The last time we did this, which we did for the bug video, it wasn't until around here that the ticking really sped up, I guess you could say. It got faster, it got louder. But before, oh, the gradient's coming in a lot faster too, the effect over your camera. But before, like, it really wasn't that bad. Oh, we're going real slow now. Like, right here, it'd be a few ticks, few ticks. But it's coming out a lot faster now, and it's a lot louder, and it's a lot easier to tell as a player that, oh god, I shouldn't be in there. Oh, no, I don't have enough clothing for that, etc, etc. Also, with the changes to radiation, they've also said that they're going to be lowering the drop rate of anti-rad pills, which you can find in those food crates that we were looking at before, because according to Facepunch, they were slightly overpowered. Now, granted, the last time I actually used rad pills, yeah, we had a ton of them. But that being said, now that radiation's back in, I can't honestly say for sure whether or not rad pills were overpowered, but they tweaked them, so that's just how it is now. The next thing we're going to look at is a new component they added to the game, and that is the semi-automatic body part. And that's basically going to be used for both the pistol and the semi-automatic rifle. The reason they added this in was because they wanted you, as players, and myself is included in this, to slow down when it comes to acquiring the semi-automatic pistol and just going out and wrecking people. Basically, we were skipping everything up until that point. So a lot of us weren't going for bows, we weren't going for the water pipe, etc, etc, etc. So now, by adding a component to this, and making it a relatively rare component, a little bit difficult to find, what they're doing is they're making it easier for those of you that are solo and small groups to get going. Those of you that use the bow and the water pipe, you're not going to be just completely wrecked by someone that was really lucky and got a pistol early on, because it only cost resources. Now, it's going to actually take a component, and hopefully we'll see a lot less of them, and those of you that are going to be using them are going to be a little bit more protective of them. Okay, so the next change we're going to be looking at comes from the semi-automatic rifle. Besides for the fact that it's going to take the new component to craft it, they also made a couple changes to the weapon itself. Now, according to Facepunch, the very first thing they said in this section was, the semi-automatic rifle sucked. I've always said this was my least favorite gun. I felt it was too unreliable. So basically what they did was they changed a little bit of the recoil, and they made it a lot easier to actually hit your target consecutively. So what I've done here is I've set up a little shooting lane, and we're going to shoot a bunch of stuff off. Now that target's obviously pretty far away, and I'm not exactly taking my time lining up shots here. I'm just kind of firing a bunch off. Now let's see what happens. Oh, we went too far. Let's see what happens when we come over here. Oh wow, quite a bit of them landed inside that circle. A lot of you, let me get rid of that thing there. A lot of you probably thought that I was missing, but apparently not. The recoil makes it so much easier to hit consecutively in the same spot, give or take, roughly. That's definitely a body width, if not a lot smaller than a body width. Consecutively in the same spot over and over and over again, and the recoil helps keep it in line as well. So the semi-auto rifle actually might become pretty strong now. And with this kind of consistency and this kind of accuracy with it, at that considerable range, I'm not going to say it was close, and I'm not going to say it was really far away. At that range, yeah, this might be something I'm looking to in the future as a weapon that I might be using a lot more. The next change we have is with the bone armor. They've made it quite a bit cheaper. According to them, it was too expensive and underutilized, and I can honestly agree. There really was no point in doing the bone armor and the bone, what is it called now? Bone armor and the bone helmet. There was no point in doing it. So a lot of people just skipped over that and went with wood instead because they just decided wood was better. Now they've also added a little bit of protection to the wolf headdress and made it a little cheaper. With that being said, hopefully now, as we kill those wolves and we get their random skulls, this actually might be something that a lot of players are going to be using when they don't want to be losing their better stuff, such as their face mask and their bucket helms and stuff like that. No one cares about losing the wolf headdress, so if you're naked and going on a farming run and the only thing you have is a water pipe and a bow, not a bad idea to at least wear this, right? Now the last couple things on the devblog are things that I really can't show you in the video what they were. You might just have to go and go for yourself. The first thing they're going to be looking at is the harbor art, and the tugboat they made and the crane. They look really, really good. The textures are great. I think they did a really good job on it. Go to the devblog, which will be in the link of this video, and check them out. please, they did a really great job, and they should know they did a great job. They also did network fixes, performance fixes, and stuff like that. They changed some of the sounds in the game, but these aren't really things that I could put into a video very easily. So I'm just going to ask you guys to go and read them for yourselves. That's going to be it for this episode of How to Rust. As I said before, this is the last episode that's going to feature days in the title. After this, they're all going to be episode whatever. And we'll see you in the next How to Rust video. Bye-bye. Thank you so much for watching this episode. If you want to see more great content from Private Astro or myself, please hit that subscribe button and click on any of the videos above. Otherwise, we'll see you in the next Sergeant Soldier or Private Astro video. Bye-bye.